Hi guys, hope you're having a great day. Gotten through your reading workshop time and now we're moving into writing workshop. Today I'm going to give you an anchor chart to fill out that we'll be using the rest of the week since I'm not there. We're going to do it with the flipped lesson, so hopefully all of your computers are working and you're able to access this video. Open up your writer's notebook. I don't have my writer's notebook, and reader's notebook at home, so I can't pull that one out for you, but I have a notebook here. So just make sure you have the one that's your writer's side and open it up to your teaching points section. And our last teaching points were done with unit 2 or 3, whatever it was we were working on. So turn the page and find a clean two-page spread. So you'll have a page on the left and a page on the right that has not been written on. And make sure it's the very next page. We don't want to skip any pages as we're moving through our notebooks. So you'll have teaching points on this page. Turn it and you have a two-page spread. Pause this and make sure you get to that point. All right. Hopefully you're at that point. Double check. Make sure you're in the writing side, not reading. Make sure you're on your writing side. And open up your notebook to where you have a two-page spread here. And on the left-hand side, make sure it's the left-hand side, so you should have desk on the left of you, and then you should have your page right here. I want you to put the title Revising. Always remember you can pause the video, but if I try to go on and you're not quite ready, put the word Revising. All right, when we revise, it's a little different than edit. Revising is taking care of that crafting piece and making sure we've done everything possible to make sure our story, or soon to be our essay, is written as well as we possibly can, having done all the work that it takes to be a good author and a good crafter of our writing. So one of the first things we need to do, we're going to use this acronym called ARM. So we're the A, just put an A, and then the word add. Make it the word add. And I've put a box around that A to make sure it stands out. So add. One of the first things you can do when you revise is, as you're reading, you're going through the golden rule of writing. You're reading, thinking, writing, reading, thinking, writing. After you've reread, you need to think about, well, where can I add some things to make my writing stronger? And when we add, we're going to add words and sentences. So you might add new words. You might add sentences. And I want you to think about we've been talking about making sure that we have talking in our stories, that we have thoughts in our stories, that we have action, lots of good action, and that we've done a really good job creating images for our readers. So we have talking, thoughts, actions. Hope y'all can see that okay. The camera situation here, I had to bring the camera home and I'm having all kinds of trouble, but I think we'll get through it. Okay, so the first thing is add. The next part of our revising is the letter R. Put your boxes around that, and that is remove. This one's really tricky. You don't want to remove unless you're doing some removing that makes sense. But you're going to remove either unneeded words or sentences. So in the first thing, we're going to add words and sentences to make our writing stronger. But then as we're reading and we're thinking and we're writing, reading, thinking, writing, we may run across stuff that just does not make sense, and we need to remove those unneeded words and sentences. Maybe we wrote the same thing twice. We were copying it down and typed it twice, or we wrote it twice, or whatever. So add, remove. The next thing you need to do is move. Okay, so we're going to take our M and we would move things around. You need to move your sentences sometimes. It makes more sense as you think about it and read it and write it and think about it, and you keep going back and rereading. You might want to move around a sentence or even a word placement, uh, like the way you have your words put together. Sentences, a sentence or words are just not quite making sense. And then the last thing is as. So we'll talk more, a whole lot more about all of these. But this one is substitute. 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 Okay, guys, sorry about that. I got a phone call. All right. So we're substituting. And when we substitute either words or sentences for better ones. So you're going to substitute words or sentences. And I'm going to teach you a skill to use for that that's going to be real easy. And you'll see how cool it is to take something that you've written and you think, oh, wow, it could be like this. All right, so when we revise, we add, we remove, we move, and we substitute. All right, go to the other side of your page. And the next one is, on this side, we're going to do edit. All right, so we have revising versus, you could put a VS in the middle there, versus editing. So what is the difference between revising and editing? All right, when we edit, and y'all probably did this in third grade, I don't know, but it's important. All right, we use C, and this marker's kind of trying to run out, but I'm going to try to make it go. All right, we do capitalization. Check all of your capitalization. Make sure you have names capitalized. You have places capitalized. Months. Dates. And oh my goodness, the letter I. Some of y'all are still so bad about that. The letter I, make sure I is capitalized. You'll check all that capitalization. I'm going to go ahead and change my marker. That marker's not going to last. All right, now we're going to call this O for cops. We're going to be spelling cops. We're going to do O here. And I want you to do, this is the order that things are in. And is it organized? So you're trying to see if it makes sense. So order and organization. Make sure it's making sense. All right, so we're organized. Make sure that it's making, you're reading through it and make sure it makes sense. And I also want you to check, makes sense. And then I also want you to check to make sure your verb tenses are right. We'll talk about verb tenses real clearly in a few weeks, or maybe I think it's next week. But your verb tense, like it's past tense. If you're writing a personal narrative, it's going to be in past tense most of the time. Okay, so our first verb tenses, and I'm about to run out of space here. So I want to put cops, I want to put punctuation. Make sure all your punctuation is correct. And then the S is for spelling. Okay? Punctuation, spelling.